Hey guys, and welcome back to Garden of Kaylan. I've been into plants for a while, and sometimes I come across some that are wildly slept on. So I'm going to show y'all a few of my favorite plants that I think are incredibly underrated, and I want to know why. Some of these I do see often, but they're just not as hyped up as other crazy hybrids and stuff, which has its own place, has its own lane. Don't get me wrong, I like those too. I just feel like a few of these need some attention. But before we get started, hi, I'm Kayla and welcome back. If you're new here, welcome, and be sure to subscribe if plants are your vibe. Now let's look at some plants. Some of you guys were with me when I unboxed this Filadelgid Green Sky for the first time, and it has grown a little bit since then. It's actually grown a lot of bit since then, and I had to feature it in today's video because I think it's so impressive. Like, look how big this guy is getting. Every leaf that comes out is just looking better and better. And I even went 10 days without watering this and nothing happened, not a single pest. The Filadelgid Green Sky is definitely a showstopper in my collection, especially since it's putting out 2 leaves at a time. Like, can you see the 2 leaves? So 2 major leaves pop out all at once. And when they come out, they are slightly red tinted. They're a little bit copper. And then they just turn into these magnificent, long, glossy leaves. Well, it's a little bit more glossy right now because I just sprayed neem oil all over all of my plants as more of like a preventative. But oh my goodness, you guys. Like, it's getting out of control. I don't even have it on a moss pole. I literally just have it staked up on this stick thingy, this garden stake, and it's still growing beautifully. So imagine if I put it on a moss pole, how much better it would do. But it doesn't look like it's needing any help from me at this point. I just love how amazing this plant is growing, especially since when I got it, the leaves were like grown in different directions when it first arrived, and it was really hard to get them all to face one direction. So I actually ended up cutting some of them off that just would not get right. Sue me, but I needed it to look like this, and it ended up working out. It really did, and this has been a pretty fast grower. So as soon as 1 leaf hardens off, I got 2 more, or as soon as 2 leaves harden off, I got 2 more coming in. So the latest and the latest, and then these 2 others coming in, y'all. I cannot recommend this plant anymore. I saw the green sky on somebody's Instagram a minute ago, and I waited and I hunted for one and hunted for one. So obviously when I found it, I snatched it up, and it took a while to acclimate, I'm not gonna lie, but when it finally got used to being here, it just did this. I would like to see the leaves a little bit longer. Like, I want them narrow and long instead of like wide. But I am so super happy with how it's turned out so far. When I tell you guys this next plant was on my wish list for so long, I was like drooling over it every time I saw it, which was not often. I just couldn't justify to myself spending that much on a plant. And usually if I feel hesitant about an amount of money on a plant, then it's probably not a good idea to get it at that moment. Finally, I got it. Enough talking. I finally got it. And it's not a whole lot right now, but this is the Philodendron Whipple way, you guys. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't remember what I was looking for, but I was looking for something that was not this, and then came across this on accident on the internet and was like, what is that? And it's pink. I remember seeing that it was pink. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So I remember seeing that it was pink and that the variegation on it was very stable. And it remained kind of, you know, what you saw was what you got. It didn't harden off to a different color. So anyway, I drooled over it, like I said before, and finally I have it. And I know it's not a lot right now. I'm rambling. Calm down. Whew. I know it's not a lot right now, but she is on her way, y'all. Do y'all see that? So it was still pretty expensive even for this little one, but it wasn't in the 4 digits. So I was like, all right, we can kind of work with that. So I'm so happy that I finally have it. I've got it in stratum right now. And of course I have it in my naked root planter just to kind of let it acclimate. I've had it for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months now. I have not stopped. Don't look at my nails, y'all. I was experimenting and it didn't turn out how I wanted it. But anyway, So yeah, I have been obsessing over this since I got it. It's finally getting a new leaf. It lost two when it got here, which was fine, but I see some propagation in the near future. So I'm just kind of waiting it out. So excited. Let me show you guys the back of the leaves again. And even when they come in, they're like, they have that pink on the top too, y'all. Oh my gosh. So yes, my Philodendron Whipple is finally here, and I couldn't be more excited about it. And I'm even more excited to come back to this clip in the future and see how much it's grown. This is my Philodendron Golden Crocodile. Everything is not gonna be Philodendron today, by the way, I don't think. But yeah, this is my Golden Crocodile, and I realized I never really show this on here. I mean, I think I showed it during a plant tour, probably. Oh, well, obviously I showed it during a plant tour, and then I showed it when I first got it and was like unidentifiable. I'm not sure if this was a tissue culture, but when I first got it, it was so small. It looked like, you know, when you get those little tissue culture plants and they're itty bitty. That is what this was when I got it. And I've literally repotted it once since then. So in the last 2 years, this is what it's done. And you guys, I think it looks so incredible, especially with these serrated, super narrow leaves and how they come in this orange color. I feel like people really have been sleeping on this one. And I'm talking about myself too a little bit when I say that, because I kind of just ignored this, and I wanted to change the cover pot the other day. And I was like, whoa, I had to take it off the shelf because it was too big for the shelf now. So yeah, I remember this stick right here. This stick was like towering over the plant, and now it's sort of buried in the plant. So this has grown so freaking much. I am so in love with it. The color is magnificent. It does eventually start to lose that yellow and go to like more of a limey green color, but the shape of the leaves is everything. I'm really obsessed with it right now, and I think I'm even more in love with the look of the plant with this pot, which I got for, look at that, $5.50 at Marshall's. So the plant is gorgeous, the pot is gorgeous, and I'm just really feeling it right now. I think it's perfect for the fall. It's never had pests. I've never had issues with it. I don't even like remember to water it half the time, and look what it's doing. So this is definitely one that I recommend for like beginners or people who kind of kill plants. I will recommend something like this if they want something a little funky looking, a little different, and kind of crazy shaped. I'd highly recommend this one. Easy peasy and gorgeous. The next plant caught me way off guard, and it wasn't even expensive. This is my Peperomia Maculosa. I really didn't even know this plant existed till the day that I purchased it, and I was like, wait, what's that? So I got it on a live sale, and look at that color. I got it on a live sale, and they held it up. It was like $10 or $15. Nobody else was jumping for it. I was like, am I tripping? Like, what? Why is everybody not on this? In my care, it's been really slow growing. I got it about 4 months ago, and this is the first new leaf that I've gotten since then. And according to the pictures that I see online, this plant will get more bright, like that veining will be more vibrant with, you know, more light. So I put it directly under a grow light, but like I said, still, it's been incredibly slow, or at least slower than I expected it to be, right up under a grow light. But what I love about it is these thick, like waxy leaves. It almost reminds me of a Hoya. It is like, if I saw this, I would not have guessed Peperomia at all. I don't know too much about it. I haven't had it long enough, but I just know that this leaf right here is what sold me. I think it looks like lightning, and there's nothing on these leaves. They are just naturally that glossy. Like, they're super glossy. So far, it hasn't had any issues at all. It's just been slow, like I said. And I water it when I remember to. It kind of dries out pretty often, which could be another factor in why it's been really slow, but it doesn't like fuss when I forget to water it. It doesn't do a whole lot of like drooping or anything like that. I feel like with these thick waxy leaves, it stores water probably in the leaves, so it maybe doesn't need that much water. But I am still kind of shocked that more people aren't showing this or not talking about it as much as I thought they would be, because I am truly obsessed with it, truly in love with it, and even more so in this cool square planter that I'm pretty sure also came from Marshall's. It's gorgeous, so I don't understand why it's just not getting more press. This is one of the most beautiful philodendron that I have, and it kind of has fall vibes to it too. I should have put it in my last video. But these leaves are wide and glossy and serrated and dark. Why aren't we seeing more of these? Not to mention the fact that they come in this red color. Y'all know how I feel about my red plants, but they stay that way for a little while. Like, they always keep kind of like this hint of copper in them. Even the older leaves, the underside of them, let me turn it. Like, the underside of it still has kind of red veining, and I'm just so obsessed with this plant. I say that about all my plants, I feel like, but because I'm obsessed with plants in general. But looking at this gives me the biggest like serotonin boost ever. I always see a new leaf coming in on it, and they just get bigger and bigger. I recently had to, I put it on a moss pole. It was like well past time for me to put it on a moss pole, so I finally sucked it up and did it. I was so scared to snap leaves because it was all over the place, but I managed to get it done, and I couldn't be more happy with the results. The version of this that I always see is the caramel marble, and that's beautiful too, don't get me wrong. I don't have it, but I always see it, and I am like, my goal is to get every version of this one as I can. This just happened to be one that I got from CHIMERA Tropicals when I told him I was looking for a caramel marble. And he was like, how about you take this to kind of like hold you over until you get that one? I kind of forgot about the caramel marble after I got this. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a Philodendron Choco Empress. By now I've put it on the screen, and I'm pretty sure it's a hybrid. I'm not sure what it's a hybrid of. I do notice that the leaves, you know, obviously are wider than like the Jungle Boogie or the Golden Crocodile that I just showed you. So obviously there's something mixed in there, but it's a great mix, whatever it is. It's working for this guy because, oh my goodness, I love how dark the leaves are. And something about it, other than the fall vibes, it just gives me like warmth and like chocolate or something. Kind of has like a chocolate look to it. Or maybe it's the name Choco Empress. I'm rambling, but I really love this plant so much. Okay, we're chilling out with the philodendron for 1 second, but for the record, most of my plants are philodendron. This plant is super slept on. As far as trailing plants go, I don't know why I'm not seeing this all the time. This is a Cotoneaster. I'll have to look up the exact species that it is, but it is the cutest little trailing plant. I don't know why I'm not seeing this more. This plant blooms so easily and so often. It has these little cute white flowers. Oh my gosh, they are the cutest. And it's a really easy to grow plant. Fairly inexpensive. I think it was like one of those $5.48 or $6 plants at Lowe's or Home Depot, one of the two. I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen it there since then, but it's almost like a Hoya serpens, but way easier, in my opinion. So it's like a little serpens, and these little leaves are fuzzy, like they're fuzzy to the touch. Oh my gosh, y'all. Why aren't more people talking about this? And it's grown so fast. Well, it's more of a moderate grower, but she is just so well behaved. I very rarely have problems with her. I've never had pests, and I actually have 2 of them in 2 different lighting conditions, and they both do so well. The only issue that I could kind of speak of is if I go months without watering, which, believe it or not, has happened, then she'll start to brown kind of at the tips, the usual, but that's my fault. Does anybody have one of these? They are so precious and so cute. I can just imagine a big giant pot of these just trailing down, just so elegant, so petite, so cute. I've been saying petite a lot, I noticed. I've been watching Emily in Paris, and suddenly I'm French, I don't know, but adorable. Adorable, you guys. The Polyura is not underrated at all, but it's almost like everybody forgot about the regular green one. I too have fallen victim to all the variegated ones. I actually have 2 other ones, like one is the board something, I don't know. I have variegated ones too, but I kind of forgot how cute the regular one was. I just watered it. She's in pond and a self-watering planter, but oh my goodness, you guys. I think on my last video, I showed you guys one of the other ones, and I was talking about how much I love the green one too. Oh my goodness. Like, look how gorgeous she is, y'all. Look at the leaf, how the leaves grow in like a mermaid. Oh. All right, I need to stop. I'm doing too much. What is up with everybody forgetting about plain Jane here? The green one still is gorgeous. Like, can we get back to green for a little while? And another thing I've noticed about this one in comparison to my variegated ones is that this one seems to grow faster. I remember when I first got this, she was just such a wee little baby. And now just look at her, y'all. Like, every time I look at her, there's new leaves coming in, and I'm like, whoa, where'd you come from? But I think she looks so good, and I want us to go back to appreciating her again because she feels neglected ever since her variegated cousins started popping out everywhere. And this is just a reminder, y'all, to reel it in. Like, don't forget who the OG was. Don't forget the original. You see that like slight texture, like that slight tattooing that she has? And let me show you the back of the leaves. Back of the leaves have a little bit of veining to them too, so she's gorgeous. Don't sleep on her, y'all. Stop sleeping on her. And somehow we find our way back to Philodendron. This is my Philodendron Hawkins Gold, and it gets its name from the golden, let me see if you can see it. It's kind of like mottled gold in there, like slight fuzzy variegation, not fuzzy, but like staticky. Is that a word? Is that a thing? It looks like static. It looks like golden static on green leaves. And I feel like this is not talked about enough, especially considering how easy it is to grow. Like, I don't have any issues with it. I do have it in leca that I'm not going to show you or it's going to spill out everywhere, but it's in leca, it's on a moss pole, and it just doesn't stop growing. I mean, I just put this pole in here maybe 2 months ago, and it's already about to be time for an extension. So this plant gets more of that crazy, beautiful color the more light you give it. So I ended up putting it more in front of a grow light, not just for the color, but for the leaves to size up too. And so far it's been working out. Like, look how gorgeous this new leaf comes in. And then as it hardens off, you kind of got to get up on it to see, but it starts to get that slight variegation. I want to see a little bit more of that, which is why I put it right in front of a grow light. So the verdict is still kind of out on how it's going to turn out. I've seen some really incredible Hawkins Gold philodendrons, and my goal is to get that one to this point and to get these leaves to be massive so that there's more beauty, so to speak. It's gorgeous in my opinion, and it's crazy how much people are sleeping on this. Right now, dark and crazy anthuriums are what everybody's talking about. That's the type of anthurium that I see more typically, more often, but sometimes I come across some that kind of take my breath away, and the Antherium Patum was one of those. Something about it just reminds me of Batman. So I got this from an Ecuagenera pop-up shop. This Anthurium was in rough shape when I first brought it home, and I was able to like kind of bring it back to health. Well, fully bring it back to health. I did lose a few leaves though. And I have a little cutie one coming in right there. It's so cute. You know how Anthurium leaves start off so tiny. I love that. I really cannot get enough of this guy. He's just grown so well over the summer. And after the initial shock of being in a new environment, he just popped right back up, and I haven't had any issues since then. And over time, like, I thought this is what I was getting because this is what was on there. But over time, the leaves just keep getting more and more defined. And I love that. I really do love that about this plant. So looking up the more mature version of this plant, I see that it's going to spread out a whole lot more and get a lot more fingers on it, if you will. One of my dreams is to cross-pollinate this with like a crystallinum or something, so I can kind of get my own version of like the Delta Force. So I don't know, maybe one of these days. I haven't had any luck with pollinating anything yet, even though everything in my collection keeps flowering. I'm not getting any leaves, just flower after flower, all for nothing. So I just started cutting them off. Like, maybe we'll try again next year. But you guys, I am so crazy obsessed over the green, like the perfect green shade of this. in conjunction with the texture and the shape of the leaves, I think that it is just so unique looking. So much so that I don't even mind the fact that it has like long petioles and then like this little leaf, because I know that these leaves are going to get a whole lot bigger, and it actually like ends up working out. I actually don't mind the look of this guy because he's kind of in a league of his own, I think. And I feel so excited to see what this new leaf shape is going to be, because I can already see a bunch of different like spikes, and I feel like it's going to be nice and defined. I can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of it. This is my Philodendron bicolor. I had seen this a couple times before I got it, but it wasn't until the Propis, shout out to the Propis, got this one, and his looked so good. I was like, oh, I'm about to go get it now. So I ended up getting it, and I do not regret it whatsoever. Not to mention I got it in the dead of winter, and it got here perfectly fine. No issues. The bicolor is deep green and matte on the top, but the back of it has like a slightly red vein. This one and this one are newer, so they still have like that red tint underneath, and the leaves come out red, so that's another plus for me. I love the long narrow leaves. I had this in like a 10-inch pot, and it was really struggling, and it just looked like really wonky and really crazy in there, so I ended up cutting this one vine off into pieces and putting it in stratum, and I will never turn back. I am so much happier with how it looks now than when it was just a bunch of little like ridiculous pieces. But you guys, if you are into long strappy plants, like I went through a long strappy plant phase, and this was part of it, and I'm so happy that I got it. It's a little bit on the slower growing side in my experience, but after chopping it, I recently put it in a brighter condition, or in front of a grow light, whereas before it was just kind of getting like bright indirect sunlight from my window. So hopefully the supplemental light will kind of boost the growth on this, because I am so excited to see how it's gonna look when it's massive and really big and nice and full. It's just gonna be quite the sight to see, so I'm looking forward to that. But in all seriousness, it has just been such an easy plant, and I find it to be so rewarding, like to get these long leaves. It's just such a like I just love plants. I just love plants, y'all. I really do. Not all of them, but most of them. So the next plant threw me off, because when I unboxed it here on my channel, I just knew everybody was going to go crazy about it, because that's how I felt. That's what I was doing, and nothing. My sister commented on this plant on the video, but I think she was just being nice. Anyway, this is my Laisha pamila electric pink, and it is certainly very electric looking. I really swore I ate when I got this, but nobody even cared. They were like, girl, anyway. I thought I was gonna go viral with this one, y'all, but no. One of these days I'll get my 15 minutes of fame off of this plant, but I am seriously, like, genuinely in love with how this plant looks. Like, how gorgeous is this color? This is another one that should have been on my fall vibes video, because I think it gives you like dark fall vibes. No matter what I put this around, no matter what plants it's by, this one stands out to me because it almost highlights itself. It looks like a neon light. It looks like something is giving this electricity, and I don't know why more people don't have it, or maybe it's just not a popular, I don't know. I just love it, and I feel like it's wildly slept on. The glow up is so real with this one. This is my Philodendron roseo cataphyllum. It has the most beautiful corrugated leaves that come in this bright green color and kind of harden off to a deeper green. But I have not seen one of these before or since I got it, and I can maybe kind of understand why, because this one is one that does not like to dry out. It has spider mites 3 or 4 times already. It is more of a difficult plant, which I kind of expected with these thin, like corrugated leaves, like I said. But I am so crazy about this because of the texture and also how the leaves are like slightly wavy. The deep heart shape, y'all, like I wish it was a little bit more compact and kind of grew closer to the moss pole. Definitely worth having. Just do not recommend for someone who is a beginner because yeah, it's a rough one. But it does end up rewarding you with these gorgeous leaves, and even at a distance, I think that it's so beautiful. I think it's more beautiful at a distance because that texture just makes the light reflect off of it. I'm just in love with it. I said I was gonna wait until this got bigger to show it to you guys, but I'll just show you now. It's fine. This is my Aglaonema Manila Pride, and I was just hesitant to show it to you guys because it just has not done a lot. I think I've gotten these 3 new leaves. Well, I guess that's doing something, but I have put this under a grow light inside of the cabinet, and it's still been so slow to grow. I just wanted to show this one to you guys because I'm not a big Aglaonema. I don't have anything against them, and I do have a few, but they just never really they have to be magnificent to stand out to me. And this one definitely stood out to me. I saw this one also on Instagram, but the one on Instagram, as usual, was so gorgeous and so full. So when I went to look it up to get one for myself, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna start with a small one. And I don't regret that decision at all. Even at this small size, I think that the variegation is out of this world. Like, look at all of the different colors in each of the leaves. So cream, light green, dark green, like that minty color, just all the colors. I just wish that I saw these more often so I could have had realistic goals of how it looked. Because of the 1 or 2 times that I did see it and it was super full, I got my hopes up thinking that it must be a fast grower, it must be super easy, and that just was not the case. So either way, I'm in love with it, and I can't wait to see what it's gonna do. So you guys, that is gonna do it for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you have any of these plants, or are you sleeping on them too? Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.